and then wherever you see the transaction amount is more than $10,000, then create an alert for that party or that customer. How confident you guys are? Will you be able to code that logic?
I will try it.
Well, we
You
haven't
understand, right? Like,
gone to that level that we can create an alert. But yeah, the training so far are so good.
yeah,
But I think,
Farooq, yeah.
yes, I'm Farooq.
Yeah,
The
Farooq,
training, whatever Surma is teaching, he is teaching in quite a very nice way, and we are getting.
Exactly, yeah. Because yesterday's session I was attending, I'm really impressed, and also I'm brushing up my core Java with Umar. So it's really good. Like I like the way he and the examples what he picks up. That's really he creates some attention in the session, right? It's not just like one-sided, people just listening and sleeping, right? Most of the time in my college time or any training, whenever the trainer comes after 15 minutes, we all will be sleeping. But he's making very, kind of like very interactive session, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
Exactly.
Farooq, what you
nice
say?
mentor.
Yes,
He's a good.
he
He's
is
very
engaging us.
Yeah, yeah.
Their teaching is very
One
good.
thing. Sorry to interrupt. Just one thing I want to ask. Actually, for this Jira thing, I was just trying to go through my all the emails, and I was unable to find the invitation for the Jira. Is
No,
this
no
possible?
problem, Farooq. Yeah, whenever you are free, just ping me. We can talk on this offline. So, because yeah, I have not taken the any my project session now. So, but whenever you are free, just ping me or text me. We can connect on Zoom, and I can help you out offline. Okay.
Perfect.
So,
Thank you. Thank you.
yeah, we'll fix it. And yeah, Umar, I was just trying to talk to them. So, as you are not here, so I'm just giving you back.
Yes, sir.
Sorry for hijacking your call.
No. I was stuck in the traffic. No, it's good that this time also was utilized in some constructive way.
Yeah. Because I was telling yesterday you were teaching reading like input stream and all those classes. So I was just telling them like one use case we have in our project, like where we will be reading a file, a text file where we will have some transaction data, party name, customer name, and transaction amount, and the transaction type. So can they read those data, suppose like from a text file, and put a if condition after reading that data, just create an alert wherever the transaction amount is like $10,000. So suppose in text file I have 5 transaction, in each line. So I was just telling them how confident you guys are. Can you code that and show
That
me?
has not been covered yet, Sataj bhai. That may be
Right.
around after 2 weeks we can cover that.
Yeah, inshallah. Yeah. So that's what I was just trying to ask them how confident they are. So Alhamdulillah, it's all good. So Umar, yeah, you continue. Thank you so much, everyone.
Okay.
Catch up later.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Do a quick
Thank you, sir.
recap with array of objects. Yesterday we were ending on array of objects, right? And we
Right.
wind up. So let's take a quick recap of that, and then we'll progress to the next topics today. So constructors, we are comfortable, right? What are the 4 types of constructors, Amir?
First is default, and other is non-arguments constructor, and third is parameterized
Copy
constructor,
And copy constructor.
copy constructor.
Default constructor.
Right.
What is default constructor, Amir?
Its default constructor is when you create reference, class name, reference name.
Called it
After
The default is basically
itself.
already.
It called itself.
Itself. It is already
Java internally.
stored in the Java. Yeah, Java.
Right.
The constructor provided by Java internally is your default constructor.
yes, sir.
You initialize integers to 0, strings to null, and floats to
0.0.
and boolean to false, right?
False. Right.
Then what is
Yes,
no
sir.
constructor?
Then we have no art constructor.
No arcs.
This
Yes.
no arcs constructor.
Yes.
Yeah, what is no arcs constructor? I'm asking.
The no-arc constructor is when we haven't add any value. I mean, the value is already predefined.
We can initiate value at the time of creation.
Programmer can initiate the value instead of giving a null zeros.
Without
Yes.
argument.
Own
Yes.
initial value to
We
all the
can only
objects.
select value. Yes, yes, sir.
If I plan to make 1 million objects, all those 1 million objects will have the value
No
which
argument passed in a constructor is called no args.
then what is a parameterized constructor?
There is some value passed under the constructors called a parameterized constructor, like a index string and double on so on.
See, this is one thing is understanding the concept, and another thing is reproducing it in the interview. So even though we have understood it, if you are not able to communicate the same concept, the interviewer will not be impressed. So just merely knowing the concept is half the job done. You'll have to communicate and express yourself in a way which the interviewer feels that you are 1 year tenured. So after the project is completed, the live project is done, you all should be capable of showing at least 1 to 2 years of experience. So if you're struggling to communicate what is a parameterized constructor, and then you sell that I am a 2 years experience Java Spring Boot developer, they will not be impressed. So construct your sentence in your mind first, and then narrate. So this will take practice.
Sir, is this fine if we just download the definition for that?
Yeah, as long as no definition, see, bookish knowledge now will be caught. In the interview, he'll catch the bookish knowledge that this person is scripted, sounding scripted. And one who understood the concept, and when he or she explains them in her own words, that is a different flavor altogether. So you can refer to the definitions on the internet, but you got to understand them and then reproduce it in your own words in a way that you can explain it to them. So you'll have to think of the interviewer as a 4th standard kid who's asking you. So if a 4th standard kid comes and asks you, sir, today we had a session of Java in our class. University has just introduced Java as a new subject, and today they were teaching parameterized constructor, and I couldn't understand. So can you explain it to me? So what will you tell him? So will you tell him the textbook knowledge?
Yeah, and also Umar,
No,
like
sir.
just I want to add. So, Umar, I just want
Parameterized
to-
constructor is a passing of
That's why
some
it's telling subject.
values is called a parameterized constructor, passing some values.
Passing some values called parameter. Correct, absolutely correct. So you can say if I want to make a custom made object. So if I want to make 10 objects, and all the 10 objects should have different values, individual values, not the same values, correct?
Right, sir,
In
correct.
that case, I will go with a parameter.
Parameterized constructor.
Yeah, and one thing, just sorry to interrupt. One thing I wanted to add, like, as Umar is saying, right? So on top of that, I want to add, like, whenever you are explaining to someone, right, and whenever you're trying to learn, so my style, it might differ, with your style of learning, but just I want to share my experience, how I learn things, and how what I feel like, we have been taking interviews for our team, right, since like many interviews we took, since last 10 years I was part of the interview panel. So we try to see like how this guy is explaining me, so you give some real-time example, like right, Umar has been giving you so many examples while explaining constructor, use of the constructor, why we are using constructor. So just think why we are using constructor, what is the use of constructor in a class, why we are defining a constructor. So once you think and ask question to Umar, to me, or Shahnawaz, like what is the real time example, what is the application of constructor, in what scenario of my coding should I use constructor. So once this fundamental or your concept is clear, then you can answer anyone,
Okay, sir.
right? So just first
I
try to
didn't get
understand
his
why,
points.
why we are using constructor, why parameterized constructor, why, no constructor, what will be the real, application of this no argument constructor. So yesterday, I remember Umar was giving you so many examples. So just, try to memorize those examples, create your own examples. Like suppose if I'm writing this kind of class, should I put a constructor or not? Something like that, and then take some help online, what is the definition, and then you try to code and analyze the code. What is the role the constructor is playing in my code? So that, that's way, I clear my fundamentals.
Right,
And
sir.
in the interview, you have to give real time example. Hey, I was coding this scenario. I had to create this, logic, and I use this class student, and in student class, I had to create roll number, name. So suppose sometime I want to instantiate the student class object. I want to instantiate with some default values of the roll number. Then I was using parameterized constructor. So that kind of real time example, if you give to the interviewer or anybody is asking or you're teaching someone, so that way, like it adds value, like we understand, oh, the concept of this guy is really clear.
I remember this.
So prepare
Yeah.
your interview parallelly. Don't wait for the course to get complete and then say I'll start preparing for my interview that time. Preparation should go parallel. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll just recap what is array of objects. Okay, it is used a lot. So we will be starting with array, and then later on there'll be a topic called as collection, very, very widely used in your real-time development. Collection. Okay, so if your concept of array is complete, is understood thoroughly, then collection will be relatively easy to understand. So here in the black, how many objects have I made?
4 objects.
4.
And they are geographically scattered in memory, correct?
Right.
Correct.
Geographically, they are scattered. One is at 1000, one is at 2000. Okay. So if I take the geographical of India, so we'll put this in north, this in south.
It's the address.
Yeah, this is the address.
Yeah.
And this in the east. And this in the west. So are they geographically close or they geographically scattered?
Scattered.
Scattered. So if I want to do a summation of their percentages, I want to find the average percentage of the class. So I'll have to add this percent, I have to add Alice's percent. Then I'll have to add Ben's percentage. Then I'll have to add Charles' percentage. Then I'll have to add Dom's percentage and divide by the strength of the class. Correct? So
Okay.
I have to traverse the entire country. Delhi to Chennai is around 2000 kilometers. Chennai to Kolkata, 1000 kilometers. Kolkata to Mumbai, again 2000 kilometers. So I have traversed around 5500 kilometers, right? So internally, the memory is scattered. So internally, we are traversing a lot of memory locations. So the performance of this will be slow. Yes, no, maybe.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So
Yes, sir.
Alice's roll number is 101. Let's say Alice's percentage is 50.0. And Ben's roll number is 102, 60.0. And 103 and 70.0. And 104 and 80.0. Okay, if these are, so now if I want to add them, I'll have to go to address 1000, 2000, 3000, 4000, take the sum and divide by 4. Instead, what I do is I put them all at contiguous memory location. Let's say any random. Let's say you put it at 3333. Any location you can think of. Okay. So this roll number will take, let's say, 4 bytes. This string will take, let's reserve it 10 bytes for the string. And this percentage will also take 4 bytes. So how many bytes reserved for one object?
18.
The next object will be at
19.
3348, right? because 18 bytes is occupied by the green object, correct or not? So 3330 plus 18, how much?
3348.
Yeah. Then the next object will take 18, then 33 plus 18, how much? 64, right?
3356.
And then 3382. So these are allotted memory contiguously. Data will be the same. Data will be, as it is an array of objects, right? In array, the concept is whatever type of data is there at the 0 index, same data will be at the other indexes also. So at 0 index, I have an object, correct? This green and this green, don't they look same? Yes, no, maybe.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
This blue and this blue, don't they look identical? So this is an array of what? The red is an array of
Student.
students, right? So who's that 0 index? The green object. Who's that
Yes.
1 index? The blue object.
Yes.
Who's there 2 index?
Purple,
Black.
3 index. And this
brown.
I have named as SCS. What is the name of given to the array?
SCS.
And here we had to give individual names to the objects. This was what?
S1.
Was
Okay.
this is S4, correct? So if I were to use the individual objects and I wanted to display Ben, how would I display Ben? Tell me. S2 dot S name. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Correct.
And if I want to display 70.0 percentage of Charles, how would I display that?
S3 dot
S3.
S3 dot
Reference
percentage.
dot the data,
Yeah.
right?
S
Right,
percentage.
sir.
Yes.
Similarly, if I have this same information over here, roll number name percentage, roll number name percentage, this roll number is 101, Alice over here, percentage over here 50.0, same roll number 102 over here, okay, then 60.0, data type is the same because they are from the same class. Each one is having a roll number, name, percentage. So now if I want to display Ben, what will I say? Now if I want to display Ben, what will I type? The array name is SCS. So Ben is at which index?
2.
Is it? is
1 and 2 both.
which index I'm asking, not which position. Ben is at which index?
1.
So SCS of 1 will point
Yes.
towards Ben, correct?
Yes, sir.
And of that, what do I want to see? His name. So
Sir, ban is on both of the index.
Yes, and 2 as well.
I must change that. Oh, this should have been Charles, right? Okay. Okay, now tell me. If I want to display Ben, then
Yes, sir. Now it's SCS.
SCS
Index
of
1.
index. SCS of 1 dot S.
1.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
If I
Right,
want
sir.
to display 80.0, then
Sir, SCS
SCS 3 dot
percentage.
Dot
percentage.
PES.
dot percentage, correct?
Right,
Correct.
sir.
If I want to take a summation of all the percentages now. So if I want to take a summation of percentages over here, what would I do over here? I would say double sum equals to S1 dot per plus S2 dot per plus S3 dot per plus S4 dot per. Correct?
Yes,
Yes
sir.
or
Yes,
no?
sir.
I had to
Yes, sir.
traverse through all these geographical locations for the summation.
Mhm.
What do I do over here now? If I want a summation of all the percentages. Anyone?
Then we make the array of all of these.
Do you think this will
For
work?
loop use
Yeah. Start the for loop from where?
int I is equal to 0, I less than size. Size means
Size means
pers dot length.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So I less than the size. Okay.
Yes, sir. Dot length
And
and I plus plus.
I plus plus.
Yes, sir.
Yes, correct.
What is the value of my I in the first iteration? I take a variable called as double sum. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I'll be adding doubles over there. Now what will be the code over here? In one single line, who can tell me what is the code of this? And in this
Double
line, this line sum equal to 0. Okay.
sum equal to
This line is
0.
yes, sir. It's initialized with 0 and sum plus sum I. Yeah, but SCS I.
Yeah, what will be the line? Tell me.
SCS dot PER.
SCS dot
SCS I
SCS of I
dot PER.
dot PR. So what is this right now? What is
0.
the value
SCS
of first iteration?
50.0.
50.0. Yeah, what to do with 50.0?
Plus
Sum is-
Add.
sum.
Plus sum
Yes.
and store it where?
Sum.
So something like this.
Yes, equal to.
Can anyone refine this better in a better way? Can this statement be written in more proficient way? Yes, no, maybe. Is this a good option?
Right, sir.
Sum. Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right, sir.
So we'll use this, right?
Right, sir.
Yes. Sir.
And if if I want to calculate the average percentage of the class, now
Then we use a formula with that average equal to SCSI
double variable.
total
Not
multiply
SCSI.
total
Sum.
multiply with
Sum
Sum divided by
by
4.
4 is with whom?
sum
Try to
divided
avoid
by
Try to
SCS
avoid hard-coded value whenever possible.
SCS dot length कर दे sir
Yes.
best.
Yes. SCS dot length. Sorry. Yes.
Getting it?
Yes, sir.
You can
Got
use
it. Yes.
objects and speed up the task. So instead of creating different objects, if you are asked to create multiple objects, so you can just put them in an array.
Okay. Sir.
Sir, why we use double average?
Hmm?
Why we use double average?
Will be in decimal, no?
Percentage is in double. Percentage is in double.
Average
If I divide a double,
the value
integer,
return in a
what is the
point.
answer? Farooq,
Yes, sir.
if
Sir,
you
I
divide
got it.
integer, the result will be a double, right?
Right, sir.
That's my double average. And as all the percentages are double, my sum also is double. Do you all know what is typecasting?
No, sir.
Typecasting means converting from one type to another. Converting from,
One to another.
okay. So no, in the outskirts of the city. So normally when you go and buy the property, the roads are very narrow. So let's say 10 years ago, you bought a land over there. The road was very narrow. Barely one car would pass at a time. But as the population grew of that area and many real estate developers started construction over there and townships started building up, eventually this road got widened, right? And after 10 years, when you go, you yourself are shocked Like, is this the same area which I had come? So what happened over here? Road got
Wider.
wider, right? So
Wider.
if I take this example, so you all tell me what is happening over here. Okay, I'm going from right to left. I'm going from right to left. This is my direction of traverse. So what has happened in the black part and what has happened in the red part? Okay, I want you all to tell me. Tell me.
First part
If you are
is,
going
uh,
from
um,
outskirt
this-
to the city, and now you are moving from
City to outskirt, right?
city to outskirt.
wider.
And this is from
Outskirts to city.
Narrowing.
okay. So what is happening over here? Narrowing or widening?
Yes.
What is happening over here? Narrowing or widening?
Widening.
And what is happening over here?
Narrowing.
Narrowing.
So see, one real estate developer kept his property for sale and he kept it saying $12.75 million. How many?
My
US.
God. 12.75.
Yeah. How much did he kept it for sale?
12.75 million.
US. Okay. So he informed his secretary that please publish an ad in the local newspaper and put this property for sale. Okay. The secretary, what she did is when she published the ad, what was the value over here? Double, right? The figure is in double or integer.
Double.
The secretary converted it to integer. I don't know that it was a typo or the software of the secretary had some bug in it. So when you know what is autocorrect?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So
Automatically correcting.
autocorrect happened and it published it at 12 USD. Okay. So next day, some customer called. He gave an advance token of, let's say, $1,000 and he booked the property. And some legal documents were signed between the secretary and the prospective buyer. Okay. One legal document was created. Now, when this secretary goes to congratulate his boss, secretary goes over there and try to congratulate the boss that property has been sold within a day. Within 24 hours, we got a response and I have done the deal. So she is expecting that the boss will congratulate her. So he says, okay, please show me the document in which you have got the advance. And there it was written what? Sold for how much?
12 million.
So will the boss be happy or will the boss be angry?
Angry.
Be angry.
Because by one silly mistake, he has suffered a loss of what? 75,000? Yes, Farooq?
No, sir.
0.75 million is how much?
0.75 million.
Yeah.
Sir, 7,50,000.
7,50,000. Oh my. So just because of one silly mistake, one typo, the company has suffered a loss of how much?
7,50,000.
Because the legal document has already been made, right? Now they cannot tell them that, oh, sorry, it was a typo. It was supposed to be 12.75. So if I add if the secretary is working for 30 years with the boss, if I add her entire 30 years salary, will it come to this much?
No, sir.
So one silly mistake has cost the company such a big loss, right? So
Right.
the boss says you should have informed me before publishing the ad. You know what is proofreading?
Yes, sir.
So I should have but now the damage has already been done. So has there been profit to the company or has there been loss?
Loss.
So what has happened? Narrowing or widening has happened. 12.75 has become 12.
Narrowing.
Narrowing.
Narrowing means
Yeah.
when a bigger data type gets converted to a smaller data type, correct?
Correct.
That is when a double gets converted to an integer. And narrowing is not permissible because of this damage. So Java understands the consequences of this. So Java says not permissible. Am I understood?
Yes.
Okay. Now, when the secretary put, okay, now let's take scenario 2. The secretary published as the boss has informed, 12.75. Okay. Now it's been
Right.
6 months. It's been 6 months and there has been no inquiry. And the company is desperate to sell off this land or sell off this property because they are stuck up somewhere and they're paying a high amount of interest on a daily basis. So they have to sell out this to repay the loan. And it's been 6 months, no one has inquired. So now the boss says, okay, I guess to the secretary, I guess we should lower down the rate, I guess. 12.75, I guess is not working. Let's lower it down. So please put a new ad with 12 million. Now who has approved the narrowing?
Boss.
So it is permissible after approval. Permissible, not permissible by
After.
default, not permissible by
Default.
but permissible after consent,
Permission.
right? From boss. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
But okay, let's take the third scenario now. The boss says put the property for sale for 12 million. For how much?
12 million.
And the secretary publishes the price as 12.00 million. Any problem?
No.
So is widening leading to any data loss?
No.
The boss had told publish an integer, correct?
Yes, sir.
The secretary publishes it in.
Double.
Is there
Double.
any loss of data?
No.
As there is no loss, this is by default
Permissible.
permissible. By default,
Permissible.
am I understood?
Yes, sir.
So I'll just give a demo of it in the programming sense. What I mean by this. So we were in which area of objects? Okay, so I'll visit this back. I'll just say I'll bring a new project. Oh my. Don't go for Maven project right now. Don't go for Maven project right now. What's the shortcut of getting a Java project? Okay, so I'm saying type casting. What is this topic?
Typecasting.
Okay, so type casting will do. And I'll give you a demo of both narrowing and widening. Okay. So I'll make a class type casting demo and I'll leave the main function in it. Okay, so now let's take the first instance. So what did the boss say?
Double
What
price.
did the boss say?
Okay, double price. 12.75.
12.75, right? Now,
Right,
can
sir.
the secretary publish it for 12 without consent?
No. No.
No.
The secretary tries to take a int value and say new price and tries to convert this price to new price. Will it allow?
No.
What is she trying to do? Narrowing or widening?
Why?
Narrowing.
He's trying to take a double value and convert it into a
Integer.
Integer.
so
Okay.
narrowing not permissible by default. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
sir.
So narrowing not permissible by default in Java. See, so if you take the mouse over there and you read the message, see what it says. Who can? What is it?
Cannot convert from double to integer.
Yeah, so Java understands the consequences of data loss. So it says cannot convert. But if you are still adamant It's been 6 months and the property has not been sold. So narrowing is the only option we have. So you can convert it explicitly by saying you want to convert to which type? You want to convert this to which type? What is your
Integer type.
LHS? What is your
Integer.
LHS? So you are trying to convert this price into an integer, correct?
Right,
Correct.
sir.
So you can do it explicitly then. Okay. So now if I print both the prices, what will be the output? So if I print price and price, what will be the output? Okay, so
First one shows the price shows a 12.75 and a new
I'll just put a message also.
price shows a 12, only 12.
So if I say value in double price and value in integer new price, correct?
Yes, sir, correct.
So what
Then value in
what-
double E shows a 12.75 and value in int shows 12, only 12.
See, so some developers know they name the variable also like we name a function, same style. So you can use this style also for naming a variable.
Okay, sir.
Now I right click on it.
Convention.
Now if I just say, so it will tell me, got it? Yes, no, maybe.
Yes, sir.
Now let's take scenario 3. The boss says, put it for publish for how much? I'll comment out this, okay?
12.0.
The boss put it for sale for how much? 12, right?
Right.
The boss says put it for sale for 12. The secretary puts it for 12.0, correct?
Correct.
So double new price. So what she says is she converts the price into double. Any problem?
No.
No.
No. Why no problem?
Because
Widening.
the Java
It's widening.
permissible for
Widening.
widening. Yes, sir.
So it is permissible.
Yes,
sir.
sir.
If I display value in double, value in int is price now, right?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Value in double is new price, correct?
Yes,
Correct.
sir.
What will be the output? Price is
12.
and new price is
12.0.
12.0.
12.0. Yes.
How was that?
Yes.
Perfect, understood. So just I wanted to take this topic in between. So just stumbled on the topic. Okay, so let's just do a quick recap of array of objects before moving to the next topic. So array of objects, as we know the concept, and instead of making segregated objects, let's make a array of them. So this is the class of whose object I want to make. It has 3 data members. I don't want the Boolean flag. What is this? Who made this? Okay, so and I have a, what is this?
Student class.
No, it's constructor.
No,
Constructors are
Which
no,
construct?
are constructor.
No arcs. Yes.
No args. Perfect.
Yes, sir.
Then this is display function. Is this a valid display function? Yes, because it's having a void,
Yes.
right? Constructor
Yes,
does not
sir.
have a void, does it?
Yes, a concept.
Yes.
Simple. Okay, so we just have one student with a default constructor, and we have many. This is not needed, right? And then we go to the student main. And what is this? Where was the where yesterday's code? What was that topic? What was the name of the project? Does anyone remember? Was it constructor demo?
Array demo. Maybe.
Hmm.
Array demo.
This one,
No,
I
no.
guess.
No, sir.
Demo.
Constructor demo.
Constructor demo. So
Constructor demo. Yes.
this one. So class has 3 data members.
Yes, sir.
Yes, the private type.
Why is it throws exception? Because we are using buffered reader. Okay.
Buffer reader. Yes, sir.
Word later on. Mark this keyword. Park it. Sir, against some function I saw the keyword throws exception, and I was curious to know what was it. but as it was going to be taught later on, so I have parked it. So when we start the chapter of exception, that time we can raise this. So what is it? Throws exception. Okay. Display student. This is no args constructor. This is
Sir, right.
constructor.
This
This is copy constructor. Correct?
parameterized constructor.
Yeah. Now I go to the main. I make array of how many students?
3.
So this is the syntax of making an array. Use square brackets. Use square brackets. This indicates this is an array object.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the right side indicates the size of that.
Size of that array.
If you want, you can put dynamic also. You can take a how many students you want to store and put that. Please enter number
Size of the element.
of students.
Okay.
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 And take that in a variable called integer n, whatever.
So int n is equal to sc dot next int.
And then you can make the array of that size.
Yes, sir. So here we use a n.
Yeah. Then you can traverse to length
Or
of whatever.
sir,
And each then in
sir,
the
here we can directly use I less than sc dot length, not
Yeah, you can
here.
use n
I
also.
use an n
you can
in
use
place
n.
of this.
Yeah, you can use n also, whatever. But stick to the array. Then you say enter the roll student. So this is for the first student, right? So roll number 101. What will you enter? 101. Then for the first student, whatever name, what name will you enter?
Alice.
Alice.
And what percentage will you enter?
40.
40.0.
40.0, right? So this will go in A, B, C respectively. And now I'll make a new student with a parameterized constructor, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And it will go at which index of SCS? I is
0.
0.
go at 0 index over here.
Yes, sir.
This green one,
At 0 place, it shows a 101, Alice and
okay?
40.
Maru?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then similarly, this loop will increment and I will become 1, right? Is 1 less than 3? Come inside roll number for student number 2. So 102, Ben and 50.0 will go at which index?
First
1.
index.
So blah blah blah. And when the loop iterates completely, I will get the entire array of objects. Correct?
Okay, correct. Sir.
I want to display them also. So again, I start a fresh for loop, and then add for each index, I will call the display function. So
Okay.
display with SCS of 0, display with SCS of 1, display with SCS of 2, and so on and so forth. Correct?
To the length.
Yeah, the entire it will display. Then I want to search for a particular name. So I want to search for a particular name. I say Charles. So Charles comes in which variable?
String S.
S, right? So what S is containing Charles now? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So is Charles there in my array?
Yes, sir.
So I will call the
Yes.
search function. I will call the search function with SCS of 0. I will call the search with SCS of 1 with SCS of 2. Okay. And I'll pass S to all of them. So see over here, I'm calling SCS dot I find student by name. Okay. So now when I call SCS of I am calling through which object?
I.
Index
The
object
green object, right?
is 0. First one 0
The
and
green object,
then.
right?
Yes, sir.
So wherever in the class, if I go and if I say S name, it will refer to whose S name?
First one.
S name, the green object S name. So what is the green object?
Next one. Alice.
And what is whatever is in S? Whatever is in S has been passed, right?
Mhm.
So this S comes to where? In the find student by name function, I have one parameter which is of type string, correct?
Right, so correct, sir.
So this S will come into the X, correct?
Correct.
In the first iteration, it will check whether Alice is equals to Charles. Yes or no?
No.
No.
So in the class, when I say S name, whose S name will this point to?
S.
Of the object by which this function is being called. So this function is being called by which object first in the first iteration?
Alice.
SCS of 0, correct?
Right, correct.
This so this S name will be the role of whose? SCS of 0, which is Alice, correct? The book
Correct, sir.
example which I had given, the library book example I had given. So book is borrowed by Alice from this date from 1st to 10th. So if on the 8th of the month, the book is found in the class and the teacher says, whose book is this? Who will raise the hand?
Alice.
And then Ben borrows it from 11th to 20th. And the same book is found in the class on 15th. And the teacher says, whose book is this? Who will raise the hand?
Ben.
So this S name is same, right? Because this function is written only once, correct?
Yes, sir.
So whichever object is calling this function. So who's calling in the first iteration, who's calling this? SCS of 0, correct?
0. SCS 0.
So
Yes,
this
sir.
thing will belong to whom?
SCS 0.
Alex.
Comparing with
X.
X.
Is Charles. So is Alice equal to
Chance.
No.
No.
Why don't we write
And
directly
don't-
directly means
on the student main Java?
student main.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Why don't we write there SCS 3?
SCS
3. I
Three.
mean,
Here we use a loop now. Here we use a
How do
loop.
I know
here,
which
starting 0 to till to end.
we are searching, right? So when we are searching, we don't know where it is.
okay.
Know where it is, then why will you search?
I mean, okay.
So we are going to call it by each of the object and then compare whether that object's name is equal to the name I am passing. If it is equal, I'll say found. Getting it? Farooq,
Sir. Yes, sir.
understood completely?
Yes, sir. I got it.
Okay, so this is what array of objects are all about. So understand this concept, try to practice. I'll give some assignments on array of objects today. Okay, this topic is done. Next topic I wanted to cover was final. Okay, so who can volunteer to keep a count of the subtopics which we are covering in each session? So in today's session, if I can give a count, what all topics have we covered in today's session, so that we can title the video appropriately. You know, the video is titled day 1, day 2, day 3. So let's say after a month you want to practice array of objects, then you can't then search which day it was taught. Are you getting? So but you can read it on the title and then you can browse that video. So what did we do today? First thing we did was
Arrays.
array of objects.
Constructed with array.
Okay, array of objects we did, right?
Okay.
Then
You can see
we
that.
also did typecasting in this video.
Yes, sir.
And then today I start to teach with the final keyword. Which keyword?
Final keyword.
Final we'll do once we have done inheritance. So we'll do static keyword. We'll do which keyword?
That
So this we put in the video caption, so that when you know, okay, if you want to look for static, then you can directly open this video, day 15, right? So I want someone to volunteer and keep a count of
Typecasting.
topics which is taught in that video and then send that to me on personal chat. So who will volunteer? Oh, volunteer. Very good. So let's start with
Can't hear your voice.
static.
No.
Start with static. So if in a house there is a mom, dad, and son, who all are there?
Can you repeat your question? I can't hear your voice.
We
Not
can
audible.
see the ID screen.
No, previous one. Like
They are starting with static data. What are you starting with?
volunteer like that.
I want someone to volunteer to keep a count of the topics covered in that session. Like
Okay, okay, okay.
today's session is there. So today's session,
Okay,
sir,
sir.
we started with array of objects. Then
Right, sir.
typecasting,
Typecasting
narrowing and
and
widening. So you can just
narrowing and
same
widening. That's it. Sir.
widening, and then we started with static.
Right, sir.
So I want someone to volunteer and send me this after each session so that I can put it in the title of the video. So just by not seeing, so you all will not see day 1 or day 16. But so if now someone had missed what is typecasting, and I tell him go and watch the video, then he will not
Right, sir.
go and check.
Mm-hmm.
So if it
Yes, sir.
over there, day 16, and these topics reflect over there. So this is a better title. Yes, no, maybe.
Yes, sir.
So instead of just day 16 as a title, we can have day 16 followed by the subject topics taught in that video. So I'm looking for a volunteer who can do that. So static. If in a house we have a mom, dad, and son, so the pair of dresses, will it be shared by all three of them, or will it be exclusive for each individual? Yes, no, maybe. Will the dresses be shared by each of them, or will each individual have his or her exclusive pair of dresses?
Each
Individual
individual.
have exclusive pair of dresses.
And mobile,
Yes, sir.
will it be shared by all of them, or each individual will have a personal mobile?
Each
Personal mobile.
individual.
Individual have personal.
So your dresses, okay. So mom has her pair of dresses, dad has his pair of dresses, and the son has his pair of dresses. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Mobile phone. Mobile phone.
Yes, sir. Each have
mobile
a
phone. Okay. The Wi-Fi of the house.
sharing all of them.
The Wi-Fi of the house. Will each individual have its own Wi-Fi and have his own Wi-Fi password?
No.
That
No.
is shared by all of them. So
Used by all of them.
that if you can understand the keyword shared or mutual. Okay, you know on WhatsApp we have mutual groups,
Yes, sir. Mutual groups.
mutual friend on Facebook. What is
Yes.
mutual means? Common to both, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
If you understand the keyword shared, then you have understood the keyword static also. It's one and the same. .NET calls it as shared. Java calls it as static. That is the difference. And if you go to C# or ASP.NET, in .NET it is called as shared variable. So that variable which is shared by all is called as static. Getting it? So let's say if I have University of Pune, what is it called? So it was
University of
when the Britishers set up this university in the late 1800, 1880, 1870 at that time. What did they name it as? Okay, they named it as Pune University. The Pune was called Pune that time. What did they name it as? This is the old name of Pune. So what did the Britishers name it in the 1800s? Yes?
Okay.
Am I audible to you all?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
What did they name it? What was the initial name of University of Pune when the Britishers formed it and named it?
Pune University.
Pune University. Okay.
Yes.
Then after independence in let's say 60s, 1960s, I don't know exact date, but I'm just taking a rough estimate. They renamed it to what?
University of Pune.
Then in the 2010s, they named it a new name called as
Savitribai Phule. Yes.
Savitribai Phule Pune University. Okay.
Yeah.
Savitribai Phule was a activist, very active lady in the field of education in Maharashtra. So
Yeah.
her honor, they renamed the university for domestic name Savitribai Phule Pune University. This happened in 2010s, this decade. Now my question is, if in the 1800s there were 100 students who were studying in Pune University, what was the head count?
100.
100 students were studying in. So each student would have a unique roll number.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Each student will have a unique name or different name. Each
Maybe
would have a different percentage.
same name.
But university name
Hmm.
was common
Yes, sir.
across all the 100 students' name. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. To store Pune University, how much memory would I need? To store Pune, I would require 5 bytes. 1 byte for the space. And how much for university? 10 bytes, right? So to store Pune University, I would require 16 bytes. How many bytes?
16.
16 bytes to store the university name. Percentage 4 bytes. Let's say 10 bytes for the name and 4 bytes for the roll number. So one student would occupy how much byte of memory? 34 bytes. Yes or no? Guys.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
What I'm
Yes,
trying
sir.
to see. Correct?
Yes, sir. Correct.
If I had 100 students, how much byte of memory should I have reserved?
3,400 bytes.
Correct?
8,400. Yeah.
For
Yes, sir.
each object will require 34 bytes. So I should have 3,400 bytes available with me.
Mhm.
So if
Right,
an
sir.
iPhone is coming for, how much is the iPhone Pro Max coming for there, Faru? What is the retail price?
Sir, it was I think iPhone 14 Pro Max was $1,200.
How much?
$1,200.
Dollar.
$1,200. Okay, let's say, and how much is the laptop come? A MacBook. So let's say there's a MacBook which is coming for $3,400. Okay, make sense?
All right.
Okay, and this is in, let's say, Texas, and if I travel 50 kilometers and the same stuff, the same thing I'm getting for $1,700, will I travel the 50 kilometers? Yes or no?
Yes.
I will, right? But I'm saving on half. I'm getting 50% discount. I'm getting because the store is shutting down, and that store is now keeping all its goods for sale because it is winding up. So will I not travel the 50 kilometers for this hefty discount? Yes, no, maybe.
Yes, sir, for sure.
For sure, right? So if I don't use static, I spend 3,400 bytes to store 100 people's record, correct? Because
Correct.
each student will have 101, let's say 101, Alice 50.0, and what will be the university name?
Pune.
Pune University. Correct? Similarly,
Correct.
blah, 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 I will have 102 and so on and so forth. So you know these guys, right? 102, Ben, and 60.0, and again Pune University. So what I think is, when this data is repeated across 100 objects, why should I give it to each object exclusively? Why not keep it mutual and shared by all the objects? Does that not ring a bell in your mind? Instead of giving it to each object individually, let the objects have this thing which is exclusive to the object, give it to the object, but which is mutual to all the objects. Don't give it to each object. Just make a single copy of that data. Just make what? So if the first object is at location 1000, even though if I'm making an array of objects, this is at location 1018, blah, blah, blah. But we'll have one predefined data memory location for the static data, 7777. 1000 will also access this location, and 2000 this also will access this location. And if I
Sir.
have different objects, if I have how many? Now in today's date 2023, there might be million students over here, because University of Pune is called as Oxford of the East. There is one Oxford in the West, in the UK, and this university is called as what? So among many other things which Pune is famous for, it is also famous for its education, and the credit goes to this university. People flock over here from all around the world, if not the nation, for higher education. So now if I have 1 million objects, so this total number will be 1 billion, correct? His name will be something, some name, okay, some percentage, but university name will be mutual. Yes, no, maybe. Is
Yes, sir.
understood? So how much memory location is there of a static data? Only a single memory is allotted to it. And even if there are 1 million objects, they all access the same memory location. Understood?
777.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, this was in the 1800s. Then in 1960, the name changed or not? Did the name change or no?
Change.
Yes.
Change.
No. Can static data change?
No.
Eh? It changes over, ma'am, you see.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Yes, yes.
So can static data change? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Change.
Yes.
Yes, yes, I change.
Okay. In 1960s, if there were 1000 students, so when their mark sheet got published and printed, what was the university name which printed on the mark sheet?
University of Pune.
So did it change only for Alice? Did it change only for Ben? Or it changed for all the 1000?
For all 1000.
So if the dad sees that the Wi-Fi password has been leaked and the neighboring kids are standing near the window and playing games and using our Wi-Fi, and the speed is decreasing, he goes and changes the password. Does it change only for the dad, or it changes for the mom and son also?
For
Yes,
everyone.
change. All.
So, also, everyone,
Mom comes
sir.
from office, she's not able to log in. She says, who changed Wi-Fi password? What is the new password, correct?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So did it change only for Alice, or it changed for all the remaining 999 students also?
All of them.
All of them. Yeah.
Correct? Then in the 2010s, when they renamed it, so did it change for one student or did it change for all of the students?
All of the students.
So static data belongs to the class. It does not belong to an individual object. Getting it?
Yes, correct.
Why? For per class. That's why per class only a single copy of static data is maintained.
Okay.
Only one single copy of Wi-Fi is there for the entire house.
Yes, sir. Got it.
There are 10 members in the house. All the 10 members will access that same Wi-Fi password. Getting it?
Yes, sir.
So static data is that data which is shared by all the objects of the class. If it changes for all of the objects. And memory is not allotted to each individual. It is allotted only once. So now if I use this logic over here, So
You can
University of
say that
Pune.
the reference address is same, but the value of data is change,
Yeah. So now when I
like the
this logic,
password.
University of Pune will not be allotted to each object. This will just have 16 bytes of one space, and the 100 objects will have how much bytes of memory now?
16.
This will not be there for each object right now.
Mhm.
So 100 will have what? 1800, correct? One object will take how many bytes now?
34.
Now here.
16.
18.
I will not
18.
add University of Pune to each object, no?
Okay.
That is separate now.
Mhm.
Now how much will
18.
one object take?
18.
18. And 100 objects will take?
1800.
18 multiplied with 100 is a
16. And just add the 16. So now how much?
1816.
right.
If that MacBook, which is for $3,400, is coming for $1,816, won't you grab it?
Yes, sir.
So what did I do? Now I will not allot this University of Pune to each object. I will make one common location for it, and all the objects will access that location. Getting it? Who understood the concept of static?
Repeat it again.
Now I will not allot University of Pune to each object. Instead, I will make a separate location of 16 bytes and ask each object to refer that shared object.
Got it, sir.
For that shared location. And now each student will just have roll number, name, and percentage, will not have university name. Got it, Farooq?
Yes. Got it, sir.
So 18 is the value of size of one object. 100 objects, 1800 plus 16 also is being used. Correct?
Correct.
Total space required is 1816.
Correct.
Correct? So static data
Yes,
is
sir.
data which is shared by all the objects of that particular class. Okay, now I wanted to just refresh. What is scope of a variable? What is scope of a variable?
Scope.
Scope, yeah. Okay, see, if this is one city, and the head of the city is called as mayor, it's called as what?
Mayor.
So if anything happens in this city, will the mayor of the city intervene?
Yes, sir.
Yes, why?
He's
Because it is within his jurisdiction, right?
Yes, sir. He is
Collection
responsible.
of city is called as state. Collection of city is called as state. So city 1 has a mayor, city 2 has a mayor. These cities come together and form a state, correct? So if there is anything happening in city 2, will the mayor of city 2 intervene?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If the matter aggravates and is escalated, will the chief minister, okay, if anything happens in city 1, will the mayor of city 2 intervene?
No.
No.
Because it is out of his scope, out of his or her scope, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if the matter aggravates and escalates, will the CM of that state intervene?
Yes, sir.
Why?
It can.
Because it is in his state.
Yes, sir.
Multiple states, they form a country,
Okay.
right? So will the CM of state 2, will he intervene?
No.
No, no, sir.
Why no?
It's not his state.
It is not in his scope, right?
Yes, sir.
But will the prime minister of that country interfere?
It can. Yes. He
Why?
can be. Because he is the responsible of all the. Because his scope.
Because it is his scope. Will the Prime Minister of another country intervene? Will the Prime Minister of other country intervene?
No.
Yes, no, maybe.
No, sir.
Why no?
No,
Because it's
out of the scope.
scope. Out of his scope.
So every individual has a scope in which he or she operates. Okay, so one father is scolding his child and he gives him a tight slap. I am passing by. I also give him a slap. Will the father tolerate this?
No,
Why no? Because that son is not in my scope, right? He is in the father's scope. So father can punish him, but he will not tolerate an outsider coming and doing that same to his kid, right?
yes,
So similarly, everyone has a scope in which he or she operates. And outside that, we can just say it is outside my scope, right? So similarly, variables also have a scope that is called as life. Okay, life of that variable is only within that scope. Outside that scope, that variable does not exist. So there are three scopes: local scope of a variable, instance level variable, instance level scope, and we have class level scope. So what are the level of scopes you have in Java?
Three type of scope: local, instance level scope, and class level scope.
Topic is one more topic added for today. What is it?
Scope.
Scope of variable. Scope of variable in Java. Okay, so one more topic added for today. So who's volunteering can add this scope of variable. So what are the three scopes? Yes, guys.
Local scope, instance
local
level
instant
scope, and
class.
class level.
Okay, I'll dump it on the chat also. So someone volunteer to pick up this data from the chat and dump it on the WhatsApp chat. Okay. So I'll need some volunteers now, helping hands. So whatever I'm dumping on this chat on Zoom, someone can copy from here and paste it on the chat on SCS. Because that chat is long lasting. This chat is session specific. So who will do that? Who's been doing that all this while?
Sir, I'm doing, sir.
Amir.
Yes, sir, I'm doing.
Yeah, Amir can volunteer for that. Okay, Amir. So you whatever I post over here, it's your responsibility to copy and paste it over there. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
Sure.
first coming to local scope. Okay, so first coming to local scope means parentheses. Means what? The scope
Near scope,
is
like a near
in
scope,
which it is declared.
only in city.
So if I have this as a function, void f1, and I declare a variable inside f1, this a has life till where?
Under the function.
Only in the function, right?
Yeah,
One
under
more
the block part.
function. Can I access this a over here?
No,
Why no?
No,
it's
sir, because
out of the scope. Out of
the
scope.
right? So that is called local scope.
Okay.
Similarly, if I have a for loop over here,
Mm-hmm.
I take a variable integer I equals to 0, blah blah blah. You all know the for loop,
It's
right?
also a local value, local scope.
So now my question is, this I is visible till where?
Under the parenthesis between four
If I
loops.
try to print the I over here, will it print?
Yes,
or
you
maybe?
can. Yes, you can, sir.
Yes, is it?
Yes,
yes, sir.
All say yes. Please raise your hand.
Shabana.
Is it?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
No.
sir. Yes, sir. Definitely, sir. It's
No,
work here.
no, you cannot access it.
How?
Why,
Because
sir? For loop.
is only within this for loop. Outside the for loop, it is not
Final
identified.
answer we can show here, na sir. Is.
No, you want to see? See, I'll show you. What did you make today? Which package did you make today? this type casting. Let's use this. Okay, so y'all want this code? I'll just dump it on the chat. It's Amir's choice whether he wants to publish it or not. Okay, so I remove all this. Okay, so as per Shabana, she says it can be accessed. Okay, so I'm writing you this code.
Only final answer. Okay.
I want to display SCS 5 times. I want to
Okay.
display SCS. And I want to display SCS1, SCS2, SCS3.
Yes, it shows. Okay.
So this will display me SCS1, SCS2, SCS3, SCS4, SCS5, correct?
Correct, sir.
Okay, so now if I try to access the I over here, it should access you're trying to say, correct?
Mhm.
If I sys out over here I, it should display me 6, right? What will
Right.
it, but if I display I over here, what will it
I
display?
6.
6, because the I will terminate where I will become 6. So here when I say I, it will draw a red line. 6.
No, it's a
take the
5,
over there
sir,
and
not
check
6, sir, because it's starting with 1.
What is it telling? What is it telling?
I cannot be resolved to a variable.
Why?
Create local variable I create
This
field.
local only to for loop. If I try to display this inside the loop, it will display.
Okay.
Here it is displaying, not a problem. But here it is doing problem. Why?
It's
Okay, sir,
local
I
variable.
understand.
So this I is local only to this for loop, to the parenthesis. So if you want to overcome this problem, what will you do? Make
Then initialize I per side of the loop.
and then now it will solve the problem.
Yes.
Got it?
Yes.
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Getting it?
Yes, sir.
Called local scope. This is called as what?
No, sir.
Got it, guys?
Yes, sir. I
repeat?
got it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Now, come into this diagram now. Or come into the upper diagram, whichever. Okay. Array of objects will not take this. Okay. So we can remove this. Now my question is, if I say university, will university name be same for these students or will it be different?
Same.
So I'll
University name,
static
sir.
data, correct?
Yes, sir.
I'll make one common data and I will call it as university name. Okay, I'll call it as university name, and whatever name you want to give, you can give over here. Okay, and what, so it will have some address. Okay, it will be shared by all of them. So now roll number, is it common for all the 1 million students or is it exclusively for this object only, the blue object?
Number is a separate, so not the same number. Everyone have not same.
common.
It's a
Not common,
unique
right?
number.
Unique number. And the name,
It may be common.
no, why will 1 million people have the same name?
No, it's also
Maybe, sir. Someone have a same name.
1 million objects will have the same name.
No,
no,
it's
sir.
It can be duplicated. You are trying to say it can be duplicated.
exceptional, sir. It's exceptional. Maybe
No,
one or two are same.
I'm saying you are trying to say it can be duplicated. There might be 10 students whose name can be Alice. Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
It can be duplicated, but it will be individuals. It will not be same for all, right?
Right, sir.
Yes, sir.
Percentage will all have the same percentage.
No,
No.
it may be duplicate, sir.
No. I am asking, will all have or will all not have? Just answer that.
Okay, okay,
No,
All
sir.
have or all not have the same percentage?
okay. No.
No. So those
No.
data which are specific, exclusive to an object, this is called as instance scope. This is called as what?
Instance.
Which scope?
Instance
Instance scope.
Just hang on 1 second. So when we have that data for each object exclusively, so roll number is in which scope?
101 roll number.
Instance scope.
instance
Name is in which scope?
instance scope
Percent is in which
Instance
scope.
instance scope.
Instance
And the data which we have shared by all the objects, that is called a static scope. Am I understood with all the 3 scopes?
Yes, sir.
So instance scope, I can't understand. Can you repeat, please?
Instance scope is when the data will be individual for each object. It will keep on changing for
Okay.
each object. Object to
Okay.
object, it may change.
Okay, sir.
May change. Okay, I'm not saying it will change. It may change.
Okay, sir. I
If
understand.
coincidence that in a batch of 5 students all have the same name, it's a very big coincidence, right?
Okay, sir.
So that is called an instance scope. And the data which is common for all the objects. So even if there are 1 million objects, 1 million objects data will be shared by all the 1 million. Getting?
Yes,
That is
sir.
called as what? Which scope?
Static scope.
Static scope. Understood?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Now if I ask Ben, what is the name of the university? What will Ben say?
Pune.
Pune University.
If I ask Dom, what will he say?
Pune University. They will access the static scope.
This was when they were in the first year, when they were in the FY in 2009. This was the case. Okay. Then in 2010, the name changed, correct?
Yes,
Yes or
sir.
no? The name changed to Savitribai Phule Pune University.
Yes, sir.
Now, if I ask Alice, what is the name of the university? What will she say?
Savitribai.
And if I ask
Phule.
Ben, what is the university name? Now, if I ask Ben, what is the university name? What will he say?
Pune
Savitribai.
University. Savitribai Phule Pune University.
If I ask Charles,
The same.
Same name. Same name.
so that data, if it changes for all the objects because they are accessing a very shared memory location. This is stored at which location?
Here.
So
7777.
value at that location has changed. And these guys are accessing that location. So they are least concerned. What is the value over there? They are concerned with the location. So this also is accessing 7,000. This also accessing
Address
7,000.
of the
Accessing 7,000.
variable.
This also accessing 7,000. Whatever value is over there, if it changes,
Doesn't matter.
but-
It's only locate the address of the.
if it was Pune University, well and good. And if it changes to SPPU, then also well and good. Not a problem for them.
Yes.
Making sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now let's take a real-time example. This was a real-world example. Now let's take a programming example. Now let's say I start a batch of a full-stack development, and these, let's say only Alice has enrolled till now. Who has enrolled?
Alice.
So I give her roll number as 1, correct? And
Correct.
ask Alice, what is the strength of the class? What will she say?
1.
1, because strength is a static variable. If I ask any student, they will give the same answer. So what will Alice say now? What is the strength of the class?
1.
Strength is now 1. Then Ben joins the class. Okay, Ben joins the class. I give roll number 2 to Ben. Okay. Now, if I ask Ben, by now Ben joining, what is the strength of the class now?
2.
So now, if I ask Alice, what is the strength? What will she say?
2.
So by Ben being added, the value changed. So did it change only for Ben?
No.
It changes for all, right?
Right.
If I ask Alice, what is the roll number?
1.
Why did the roll number change?
It says scope.
Yes, absolutely correct. This is the answer I expect in the interview. The roll number did not change because it was in the instance scope. Why did the strength change?
Because it's static scope.
That is what it is,
Static
strength is equal to the entire class. Now when Charles joins the class, who joins?
Charge.
Charles joins. What roll number do I give him?
3.
3. And the strength has increased, correct?
Correct.
Now if I ask Alice, what is the strength of the class? What will she say?
3.
If I ask Ben, what is the strength? What will he say?
3.
3.
Everyone will say
What will
3.
he say?
3.
3.
So now then Dom joins. What roll number does he get?
4.
4. And now the strength has become to
4.
4. Now if I ask Alice, what is the strength?
4.
If I ask Ben, what is the strength?
4.
If I ask Charles, what is the strength?
4.
If I ask Dom, what is the strength?
4.
That data which is shared across multiple objects is called as static data. Did you get this or what? Okay, now in static we have 4 contexts. Okay, so if I say India is the largest country, okay, what did I just say?
Most populous country.
Hmm?
Most populous country.
Huh?
Most populous. Population is
Just I said
in-
India is the largest country. So you can argue, sir, in what context are you telling this? In what context are you telling India is the largest country? Are you talking in regards to geographical area?
no,
That is the case that China is the largest.
no, sir. Russia is the largest.
Talking in regards to literacy, and India has the largest literacy rate. Are you talking in regards to the political seats in a country, from number of parliament members? Are you talking in regards to corruption? Are you talking in regards to what are you talking? Largest in regards to what, right?
Population.
Population, okay. So like this, when I say static, so static has 4 scopes. When I say static, so you also have static data. What do you have?
Static
You
data.
also have static method. You also have static block, and you also have static import. So what is the scope of static? Tell me. In what all scopes can we use static? You guys are unnecessarily prolonging the length of the video. I don't understand the reason why.
Sir,
In what all scopes can I use static keyword? I can use it in static data, static method, static
Static
block.
method block and all.
So what is static
Static
data?
data method and yeah,
What is
both.
static data?
All of these. Static data is like the
Shared by
variables name.
all the objects of the class.
Okay,
correct.
That is called. What is static method?
like the function name which we
Function
use.
which works only on static data. Function
Yes,
which can access only static data is called as a
static function
static,
method.
right?
Yeah.
Static block and import, I'll explain you all.
Static block, the block area is used by static
Start this.
data.
First, let's finish these two topics first, and then we'll come to them. So, how
Okay.
to make a data as static? So, if I'm making a class,
Mhm.
let's come to the same very old class. Let's come to this class only. Now, my question over here is roll number static?
So
No.
right now, no.
Is name static?
No.
Concept is
No.
static.
There is nothing is static here.
But is the head count static?
Private static.
Yes.
Yes.
I will declare it as static by writing the static keyword over here. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Now, will every object have an exclusive head count, or will head count will be shared?
Shared.
Sure.
So now, whenever an object is created, the default constructor, what I will do is, whenever a new admission is done, I will increase the head count. So either by this or by this, in both the ways, object is being created. I will not access the copy constructor now. Okay, so I can delete the copy constructor and not create it. No need to confuse you all. I don't need to use this also. Now my task is pretty simple over here. One bracket more to go.
This is
now what
called
all-
as static data. Head count is a static data, right, sir?
Yeah. So now what all data is there?
The static data is used with a static method.
So now this my class has just two constructors, right? And a display function. This is all my class has at the moment.
Yes.
So when I make an object with the default constructor, that object will have roll number 1, Alice, and 40. My head count will increase.
Yes.
And if I make my parameterized constructor, will have customized values, and my head count will increase.
Yes.
And if I display the student, it will display this. Okay. And if I want to display the head count, if I want to display the head count, the strength of the class. Okay. So if I say display class strength, what
Yes,
will I
sir.
display?
System data.
Which variable will I display?
Head count.
Head count.
Total head count plus head count.
Sir, but for Alice,
But-
there is only one head count. We
Mhm.
need to add a head count in Alice as well.
Yeah, Farooq?
For
Tell-
the Alice's roll number is 1. I mean, so we need the head count to be added in the Alice as well.
No, Alice head count is 1. So when I make an object with a default constructor, I'll have one student over there who I am by default calling Alice. You can give unknown also. But as of now, I have not given any name to the student.
Okay, fine.
And I have given some default password to it. Okay, so my unknown student is Alice. So I will call, our sir would call Jack. So in a school, when my class teacher did not know the name of any student, he would call him by Jack. Hey, Jack, come here. He would point the finger to that person and would address him as Jack. So his default name was Jack. So here we are giving a default name to the student called as Alice.
Okay,
So
sir.
like this,
Got
and we can now. So my question is, display student info is accessing which all variables? The
Roll
instance,
number, name, or
the
percentage.
instance variables or the static variables?
Instance variable.
And the display strength class method is using which? Accessing which?
Static.
Static.
So a function which is accessing the static data can be called as static function. Am I understood?
Yes, sir.
So now
So
display.
why we need here to use a static keyword
I'll-
with a function?
I'll come to that. Now, by adding the static keyword, I have restricted this function that it can only access what type of data?
Static.
If this tries to access roll number, it will give an error.
Yes.
If it tries to access roll number, it will give an error. See over here. What is it saying? That it is not able to access the
Number is not a
static data.
static type.
Yeah, yes. So static, so that function which is accessing only the static data can be called as static function. Is this much clear? Then I'll go in detail now. Understood?
Yes.
Now I go to student main and I start making objects. Okay. I start making objects. So I'll make life simpler for you all. So we'll remove all this. Okay. Yeah, remove all this. So I have a scanner variable and I have no need for this also. It's a complicating matter. Only for scanner also. So now I make an object of student S1, new student. I've made it using which constructor?
By default constructor.
No, ma'am, this is the nth time you're saying default constructor. This is not using default constructor. I have a constructor over here. If I do not have this constructor, then you can say default constructor. You'll have to
Okay.
unlearn few things, Shabana.
Okay.
This is using which constructor?
Student.
Yes, sir.
Is invoking which constructor?
Student constructor.
An argument.
No args constructor.
No, args.
How much time you all practiced yesterday? Was the video uploaded yesterday?
No args construct.
Not uploaded?
Yes, sir. Not yet.
Yeah, I'll talk to them to upload the video within an hour of the session expiring. Which constructor is this? Because when
Okay.
you go to Spring Boot calls this as no args.
Yes, sir.
Spring Boot
No
calls it by what?
No, args construct.
No args. So don't write unargs and default and all that stuff. So which constructor is being invoked over here?
No
No
args.
constructor.
What is the constructor giving values as?
1 LS40.
So now
Yes.
this object is created 1 Alice and 40.
Yes.
And now my strength is increased. Now what default value of static variable is 0. What is default value of static variable?
0.
But I declared head count. I give head count, right? Variable name as?
Yeah.
Understand this. So when I give head count, what was the value of head count?
1.
Initially 0, now 1.
Default is 0.
0 and
0.
When will it become 1?
after S1
When I call the no args constructor. So it will initialize 1 Alice and 40 and increase the head count to what?
1.
1. So now my 0 will be the old value, right? So 0 will become like Pune University. So this has been overruled and the new value is now
1.
1, University of Pune. Correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. Now I make one more object. I come here and I make one more object, but this time I use a parameterized constructor. Okay, so I make 2 Ben and what 60.0. Now which constructor will be invoked over here?
Parameter.
This constructor.
Parameterized constructor means it will invoke this constructor, line number 19.
Yes, sir.
My 2 will go
Yes.
in, my Ben will go in Y, and my 60.0 will go in Z, and they will go in roll number 8%. Correct? And head count is increasing over here also. Correct?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
This should look like 2 Ben 60.0, and now 1 will also become old value,
Yes, sir.
and the new value of this will be.
It becomes 2.
2.
So now at this point of time, if I call s1.display class strength, what will it display?
S1 dot is strength. It
Yeah. Because the,
display 1, sir. Head count 1.
see, I have a function called as display head count below. right?
Yes,
Display class
right,
strength.
sir.
So now if I call the display class strength function at this point of time, after creating object of Ben at this position,
After setting a pen, it shows a 2.
yes. So if I call, but I will call it S1. S1 dot display.
Then 1.
I will call the function with S1. S1 dot display class strength. What will it display me? 1 or 2 or 0?
1.
1.
1. All say 1. Who all say
Yes.
1? Raise your hand.
After calling S1, it shows a 1, sir.
See, I am telling I will call over here. I will
Okay.
call at this point of this S1 dot display class. I will call this time. So my question is what? 0, 1 or 2?
2.
Who is this 2? Farooq.
No, sir.
Ataullah.
I
Ataullah.
said 1.
Ataullah says 2 and the others say 1, right?
Right, sir.
Yes, sir.
See, Shabana and Amir. At this point of time, what is the current value of head count?
2.
2.
2. It's static.
You will also say 2,
Yes, 2, sir.
right?
Everyone will say 2.
What is making you all say 1 then?
Got it. Sir, I thought you were talking about initially, but now I get the point.
I think, sir, you said it okay, start with a 0 and you also to count a 0. Then a 0 to 1 is a 2 number. That's
That is, see, when it was 0, right? Initially,
yes, sir.
so when I made the first object, it became 1, incremented.
1,
And when I made the second object S2, it again incremented.
2,
2.
So what is the current value of head count now?
2.
2.
So when I call S1 display head count, it will display me
2, sir.
1.
Now at this point, yes, sir. 2.
Okay.
getting it.
Yes, sir.
Now I make
Yes.
two objects.
Because we have 2 objects. Yes.
Okay, now I make one more object over here. S3 is the parameterized constructor 3 and Charles and
70.
70.0. Now what will be the changes happening over here? Tell me.
3.
3 Charles and
No,
this
I'm-
3.
If you have created after the, I mean, just show the
See, this is what I have done.
so you have already right there S1 dot display.
Uh,
So
that-
before
that is
before
display.
before
So we
creating a
have 3
student class,
students. We have 3 students in the class. So S1 will also say strength is 3.
but sir, you have created the class before calling the S1 display.
Create the class.
I mean, S1 dot display class strength. You were calling it before this constructor.
No, it can display
Means
because you write after creating a reference S1.
I'm not able to understand what Farooq is trying to ask.
Sir, it should not be 2.
Yes,
If we delete
it will not
if we
be two.
delete line number 8 and then we just paste it at line number 10,
Mhm.
then it should show 3. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So
now it should show 3. Yes, sir.
What will it show over here then?
Sir, here it should
We
show
will
2.
show 3.
Will show 2
Because we have 3 edges.
because we have created 2 objects. This is called the no-args constructor. No-args constructor is also incrementing the head count. And this is called the parameterized constructor. That too is incrementing the head count. The head count is incrementing by both the ways. The head count was 0 initially, but default static variable is 0. So if it was 0 over here, okay. Then I made the first object, head count became 1, correct?
Correct?
Then I made the second object, head count became what?
2.
So did it become 2 only for the Ben or it became 2 for Alice also?
Alice also.
So now with Alice, I am saying display the last 10. What will it display me?
2.
That's what I'm asking. Now we added Charles. So head count became what?
3.
So did it became only for Charles or it became for Alice and Ben also?
Alice or Ben also.
Now when I say Alice display the strength, what will she say?
3.
3.
Yeah. So now when I'm calling the display function twice, right? So output will be 2 and 3. Correct?
Correct.
Yeah, that's it. So if you run this code, it will display you 2 and 3.
Yes, sir. But sir, if you just let's say do this, just delete the line number 10 and run this program.
Okay.
It will show 2.
So now it has become 3, but it will not display it.
Yes, sir. So it should display
Charge,
2.
head count has become 3, but it is not being displayed. So it is 3. But
So
it will
run
display
this.
only 2.
Just like
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
registration
That's
of
what I
students
saying,
in
sir.
our schools or institute, when we ask any students how many students
sir.
in your class, then everyone says 31, 32, whatever.
Yeah.
Right, sir?
Yeah. So that is what I'm saying over here.
This thing was I was telling about that it should answer 2, not 3. They were all saying 3. I'm okay, sir. I got the point.
Got it? Okay.
Yes,
Now
sir. Yes, sir. I got it.
Charles added, so it became 3. Now I make one more constructor with default. Now what is the head count?
4, sir.
Yes. Head count has become 4. Now if I ask Ben, that is S2, what is the head count? What will he say?
4.
4.
4.
I asked Alice over here. So
Okay.
she had told 2. Why did she say 2?
Because already
Because at that
two.
time, there were 2 students. There were 2 head
At
counts.
that time, there were only Alice and Ben in the class, correct?
Yes, sir.
Correct.
Then after that, Charles and Don got added.
Yes, sir.
It's
Now
just
when-
like the enrollment of students in a school or students. At that time, the students are present, the whole students are saying the total number of students are 5 and 6 and 10 at that time.
So what will be the output of this program now?
So 4.
Is the output is a
Twice.
2 and 4.
I'm displaying it twice, here and here.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. It
2
already
and 4,
showing.
total strength 2 and total strength 4.
Perfect. Absolutely correct. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And one more thing for static function. Now we will try to go back. Can you repeat the golden question, anyone?
So why we create the object,
A class.
a class,
What is the golden
To
answer?
make objects. To make
to
objects.
create objects.
Create
Or to create an object. To create
object.
objects.
And silver question, sir.
Now my silver question is what?
Why do you
Why we create object?
object?
So the answer for that?
Create object
From the methods.
call method.
Yes.
Methods.
So now here I will be a twist. Here there will be a twist in the story.
Yeah.
Is it mandatory that we create an object to call the functions?
No,
No, sir.
there's no need to create object to
Then how will we call the method?
We can-
Object.
Static method.
directly call it.
How?
By static method.
Means
No, it's
If you define a method with static,
Okay.
you can call it directly.
Yes, sir. Already make a method
when
and
we
then we can
create a
call it.
method in a same class, we
Mhm.
can call directly. When we create a method in a same class, we can call
okay.
directly
Function from within a class can call another function
within a class.
Okay, I want to call outside the class, then
Then we need object.
compulsory.
Yes, sir.
Static function is an exception over here. Static
Okay.
method is an exception. For static method, no need to create the object compulsorily. You can directly call static method from the class name also. So static
sir.
method is an exception. So can I call S1 directly with the class name?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So I can call static function directly with the class name. Okay. When was the first object created? On which line?
7.
So at line number 6, there were no objects, correct?
Correct.
So now if I call the class strength, what will it display?
0.
0. So what will be the output of this code now?
0. Total strength 2. Total strength 4.
So this is the beauty of static method, that it can be called directly with the class name. No need to create, no need for the object to invoke the static method. You can do it with the object or with the class, both. Choice is yours. Getting it?
Yes, sir.
Line number 6, I have proven that in a silver question, there is an exception part also. That it is not always compulsory that you have to create an object to access the method. You can access the method even without creating an object, provided that method is a static method. Okay?
Okay.
Static method can access only what?
All the methods without object.
Which is the static method over here?
Display class strength is a static
It
method.
can access only what data?
Head count.
Head count.
Head count is what?
Static data.
Do you know the rules about the royals of UK, the Queen? Do they have some certain protocols, or they can live like normal human beings?
No, they cannot.
Some
They
have the
cannot.
protocols.
They have certain protocol which are exclusive for the royal family only.
Yes, sir.
A particular attire, a particular grooming.
Mhm.
So you can call static method as a royal family method. It can hang out only with what?
Certain class.
Static method can access only.
Static method access only a static
Okay.
data.
Now, as Shavana put forth, that if one function of a class is calling another function, no need for object, correct?
Yes.
If I have a public void F1, this is in which class?
Class of strength.
So now,
That is.
can display student info called F1 directly?
So when we write a main function within the class, then we can call directly
Outside the class.
in coding. Yes, sir.
Yeah, we can do that. So rule is that if the function is within the class, then no need for object, right?
Right, sir.
So can F1 be called from student display student info? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, guys, are you all there?
Yes, sir.
Can I call
Yes.
F1 function from display student info function?
Yes, sir. According to me, yes.
Why can I call it? Because they're in the same
Function within the function.
function within the same class. Function within the
Yeah.
Same class.
same class, correct? Okay. Now, can I call F1 from display class strength?
No.
Why no?
Because
Function is not in this class.
head count
Not in this
is
class, it is in this class, right?
yeah.
F1 is a part of the class. No? Class ends over here. My question is, can displaced class strength invoke F1? Can I call F1 from here? Is my question.
No.
Why?
Because it's not containing the static keyword.
So what does that
Static only static method or a function
means?
means royal family can involve with a royal family, not a common persons.
So if I try to call F1 from here, it will not allow me. It will not. Reason,
Hello.
a static function can call only a static function. Getting? So what do I need to make changes in F1 now?
Then
Make it
static keyword we used here, then it can invoke a static void F1 function.
Is this making sense to you all? Farooq, Ataullah.
Somehow.
Yes. A
Yes, sir.
function can invoke only other static function. A static function cannot invoke non-static function. A static function can access only static data. A static function cannot access non-static data. Am I understood so far?
So
Yes, Amir, Ataullah, Farooq.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, can I declare a local variable over here which is non-static? Integer
I think it's
Is A-
not accepted.
is
This
A
one.
static.
No, A is not a static.
So can I declare it inside a static variable?
No.
I think no.
Yes. Local variable can be anything. Local variable can be
Okay.
no, a static royal family can employ a non-royal family member as a servant. Yes or no?
Okay.
Yes.
So it is using integer A. So A need not be static because it is a local variable. So who can explain these three rules? What is happening over here? A static function can access only static data. Correct? Point one. Second point, a static function can only call other static functions. Correct? Point number two. And point number three, local variable can be anything of a static data. Not compulsory to be static. Understood?
So what was the rule number 1?
A static function can access only static data of the class.
Okay.
Can display class strength, access roll number. If I try to do this over here, will it allow?
No.
No, it will not allow. Why will it not allow? Because static function can access only
Static
Static
data.
data.
second rule. Can I
Static function
call
can call it static
F1
function.
from here?
No, static function can call only static function. Yes, sir, it can call. Yes.
Second rule. If I remove the
Yes.
static keyword from here, will it call now?
No, it's not possible. And third one is a local variable called by static function. Right, sir?
Hello.
Yes. So a static function can only call now. Why is it not allowing display class strength to call
Because
F1?
static function can call only static function, and F1 is not a static function.
Perfect. And can I have a non-static local variable?
Yes, we can call here because local variable called by static function.
Yes. And you can call a static function without even creating an object of that class. Understood?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So go through this.
So please give some based on questions.
Yeah. I'll share a
Real-based
question of
questions.
array of objects and static. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
sir.
I'll ask them to upload the
Practicing.
video.
Yes, sir.
Bye guys. Take and I guess we are
Very
planning
confusing
the
topics.
frequency of the class from next week. The management will get back to you all on this.
Say it
And you
again,
might
sir.
have 3 days. We are planning to increase the frequency of the session from the next week onwards.
Mhm.
So we might have 3 sessions per week.
Oh, that's great.
So it's work in progress. Once it is confirmed, they'll let you all know. We will have Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Because
But
the
it will-
basic has been done now. Now we are into core Java, so we should increase the pace now. Okay.
Sir, if you to do it, please don't do it on Thursday. Rather do it on Saturday or Sunday, because in here US it will be the Wednesday.
Okay, you can talk to Jahid Bhai, Farooq. Just text him on personal chat and we'll consider this. Don't worry.
Who, sir?
Okay.
Satat?
Bye guys. Zahid. Jahid bhai.
Okay, sir.
Talk to
Yes,
anyone you are in
sir.
touch with. Sartaj bhai, Saqib bhai, anyone.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay,
Bye.
sir. Thank you, sir.